Alrighty, you guys. Welcome. I know this was sort of a spontaneous stream, but I was at work today and just got bombarded with news and notifications and rumors. And I'm like, I don't really want to go home and edit a video and click a mouse button a few times. I'm like, I'd rather just go live and react to it and talk to you guys about obviously all these rumors, give my thoughts on it, and then later in the show, kind of want to talk to you guys about some draft stuff and kind of just give my opinion on the draft topics that we're going to talk about. So strap in, you guys. If you got something to drink, go ahead and get it. I just got water in here for right now. I had a little bit of an energy drink earlier, so I'm feeling good, guys. And my dogs are already barking, so you know it's a live stream and my dogs are barking. So can we also get a mic check in here? Shout out to Coda Kid, shout out to Chad, Matt. I appreciate you guys all being here. Let me know how the mic's sounding, and then we will. I don't even know where to begin because there's just so many rumors from multiple sources and people, and I'm just gonna go down the list of these rumors and give my thoughts. And yeah, so we'll give it about 30 more seconds. Thank you, Chad and Coda Kid, for letting me know it sounds good. Appreciate you guys. What's going on, Coda Kid? Thanks for being here. Thanks for everybody being here. Even if you're watching this afterwards, make sure to Hulk smash that like button. Please subscribe, and we will have a really good show. I'm kind of really excited to talk to you guys about the draft stuff because, in my opinion, not that I like having a hot take or anything, but in my opinion, this is certain draft stuff that's not being talked about enough, in my opinion. Well, I guess on the exception of maybe today, because it's not just Suns rumors, you guys. We got like bombarded with just NBA rumors. So let's start with that. I think a lot of this is what they call smoke screen. And as I put in the thumbnail, a lot of this is just rumors. Appreciate you, Tyler, for being in here. Says Mike sounds great. Happy to be here. So happy to have you here. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for being here. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Albert. So yeah, I honestly think a lot of this is just smoke screen and rumors. And I want to give a shout out to Dave King, who kind of tweeted something out earlier, which is something really important to remember. And even myself, I have to kind of catch myself a little bit and remember this stuff. Dave says, as Suns rumors start to come out, please remember James Jones's whole job is to canvass the league for any and all trade opportunities. 99% of what is being discussed never happens. So in short, he's saying that it is James Jones's responsibility to pick up the phone and listen to deals. I'm sure that these teams have been on the phones, conference calls every single day since the draft lottery. Some teams have probably been on the phones with each other since they were eliminated from the playoffs. And I'm not even joking. And I know that there's like a lot of like tampering and stuff, but you can make a call on some players. Say, hey, is player X available? I really like what I saw from him this season. Or, hey, the draft lottery just passed. What are you guys doing with pick number 12? Just throwing that out there. So that being said, try to keep that in mind, you guys. And I want to remind you guys about something because I'm going to say this a lot. I'm going to say it during the draft, after the draft, during free agency, until we are literally in what I call the dog days of the offseason, where there's just no news and things are just at a screeching halt. The offseason is not over. It is just beginning. The fireworks have started. Fireworks. The offseason is just beginning. So whatever we do on draft day, don't think, oh my gosh, the Phoenix Suns didn't do this, or the Suns didn't get this player. Our season's over. Guys, it's just starting. Try to keep that in mind, you guys. You're going to hear me say that like a billion times. I'm serious. I like to remind people that like draft day isn't the end of the offseason. There really is no end of the offseason until the regular season starts, which if I had to guess, maybe late October, not November, late October, excuse me, maybe mid-October. So just wanted to get that out of the way. So I'll take a deep breath. Let me take a sip of water and we'll talk about these rumors. We got about 40 people in here. I appreciate you being in here. Appreciate everybody. You guys are all awesome. Let's do this. So, oh boy. ESPN's Jonathan Ganovi, I hope I said that right, said that there are let me pull up my tweet. I got tweets for this. Tweets and little screenshots and stuff. Yeah, Jonathan Ganovi says that there are rumblings that the Suns could be trying to trade into the top 10 of the draft, and that move could help the salary cap situation if the team were to retain center DeAndre Ayton. Under the New Orleans Pelicans number 8 overall selection in the mock draft, Jonathan Ganovi, I hope I said his last name right, includes this. And then to follow that up, he says, quote, the Phoenix Suns are said to be one of the teams potentially looking at trade scenarios here, possibly including a player like Cameron Johnson, which I'll talk about that in a minute. In order to free up salary cap flexibility to keep DeAndre Ayton, New Orleans has 4 surefire starters and a plethora of young talent at every position. That gives them tremendous depth and role players to plug virtually any hole. Close quote. So he's right on that last part about the Pelicans. I could have my own live stream about the Pelicans and how bright their future is. Because don't forget, Suns fans, they almost beat us in round 1. But anyways, this isn't about the Pelicans right now. We're talking about the Phoenix Suns here. When I first saw this, and I wish I would have filmed a reaction video this morning. I was just really lazy and really tired. I just thought it was weird. I just really thought it was weird because, again, let's look at it. He said, first off, there's rumblings that the Suns could be trying to trade into the top 10 of the draft. I'm sure multiple teams are trying to trade into the top 10 of the draft, especially we're like less than 48 hours away from the draft. So I'm sure the phone lines are off the hook with teams calling in to move into the top 10, which, again, I'll talk about that later. Then he says, the salary cap situation, Pelicans, and then there's a key word in here. The Phoenix Suns are said to be one of the teams potentially looking at trade scenarios. And then the word possibly, including a player like Cameron Johnson. Now, in order to free up salary cap space and flexibility to keep DeAndre Ayton, I don't know if I'm buying that. I was under the impression that we could offer DeAndre Ayton money. Now, I don't really know. I'm not too confident in my knowledge if we can get both Cameron Johnson and DeAndre Ayton, but I don't know. I don't even want to pretend to understand the salary cap stuff. And by the way, if my mouse wants to work, I can't find my mouse. Where is it? Sorry. Give me a second here, guys. By the way, here is our salary cap situation. I'm not even going to pretend like I understand this stuff, but yeah, there's just a lot of weird stuff going on here. DeAndre Ayton restricted free agent cap hold for 2022-23 is $31.5 million. The Phoenix Suns did pretty much say that they're not offering 30 million or more to any center, which I kind of thought that quote was weird as well. So I don't know, you guys. I really don't know what's going on here, but I do think this. I don't think the Cam Johnson thing is true. I think it's all smoke screen. Coda Kid said it earlier. It's all just lies and fabrications. I don't think it's lies, but it is fabricated stuff. It just seemed weird. I didn't buy it from the get-go. Now, I'm not saying that Cameron Johnson is not available. Let's be real. If some amazing offer was on the table, again, I'm just throwing this name out there. I have no inside information. Let's just say Kevin Durant was available. Let's say Kyrie doesn't resign. He wants out. And then Cameron Johnson's like, yeah, trade me. Or not Cam Johnson. Kevin Durant's like, yeah, trade me. I just lost my train of thought. You would throw Cameron Johnson in the trade, is what I'm saying. And I love Cameron Johnson. Another reason I don't like this report is because they're basically saying that they would include a player like Cameron Johnson for the number 8 overall pick and to free up salary for DeAndre Ayton. We drafted Cam Johnson 3-4 years ago in 2019. We traded back for that pick. We had the number 6 overall pick originally, which the Timberwolves drafted Jarrett Culver and then traded him like 2 years later. Cam Johnson's 20-something years old, 25, 26, because he was like the oldest player in the draft at the time. I just don't see a scenario where I think that would work. Now, I'm not saying Cameron Johnson's like the number one priority or anything, because obviously that's Devin Booker, but he is part of our core. He's part of our core group of guys. And I like a lot of players in this draft. I really do. But there's just a lot of weirdness with this report. And who knows? We could all wake up tomorrow and hear a completely different report. Maybe my guy Flex from Jersey has something that we all don't know. I don't know, you guys. But that's kind of just my thoughts and takeaways on this whole Cam Johnson thing. And Cam Johnson is still improving. He's gotten better and better each season. In my opinion, he's a really, really overlooked defender. Don't look at games 6 and 7 because nobody on the Suns could play defense that game. And I know that Luka made that move and he fell down. It went viral, but I don't care. Cam Johnson's a good defender in my opinion. So yeah, I don't know, but and when I start hearing stuff like this, I might maybe retract some of the things that I've said about DeAndre Ayton. You know, like at the end of the season, when we started hearing all the reports about Monty Williams and DeAndre Ayton and everything, I was like, man, I give DeAndre Ayton a 50% chance of coming back. And then the weeks went on and more reports came out. And I was like, I give him a 40% chance to come back. And I think I'm still sticking with around that 40%. I don't give too much of a chance of DeAndre Ayton returning. And I don't know if you guys know who Jake Fisher is from Bleacher Report. He was doing like a call-in podcast kind of thing. And I called in and asked him about DeAndre Ayton. And he doesn't see him coming back. I think there's bigger sources out there and, national media people that also don't believe he's coming back. So that's my thoughts on the whole Cam Johnson thing. Now, take Cameron Johnson out of this. You might be saying, Suns Geek, would you trade into the draft? Absolutely. Here's the next thing that comes up here. Draft Express and Zach Lowe's podcast, which I've kind of had mixed feelings about Zach Lowe. I kind of low-key feel like he's a hater of the Suns, to be honest. But he probably has sources and information that we all have. Apparently, the Phoenix Suns have made inquiries to get into the draft lottery, which, we obviously covered. But then it was reported that, and this is coming from Gambo, John Gambo from Arizona Sports. He said that the Phoenix, let me see if I can pull up the tweet. He said that the Phoenix Suns are trying to buy a second round pick. I wish I would have screenshotted this. Oh yeah, I did. Here we go. So he says, with double confirmation, there is absolutely no truth to the report that the Suns are interested in trading Cam Johnson to New Orleans for the 8th overall pick. But then, I don't think I screenshotted the tweet, but apparently it's being reported that the Suns are trying to buy a second round pick. Again, not sure how that works with the salary cap. I'll pull up the salary cap right here. You guys can do the math. I'm not a salary cap expert at all. But I would be down for that. I would be down for buying into the draft, getting somebody in the second round, because we're going to talk about this later. But and again, I'm not a draft expert at all. I'm not going to come on here and pretend I am a draft expert. I'm not even smart enough to do a mock draft. But from the research I've done, from all the footage and everything I've watched and everything I've read and listened to, this is going to be a pretty solid draft and a lot of depth and good, solid players in this draft, which is why we're hearing so much activity. And there is the possibility of activity in this draft and trade and teams that are willing to give up player X and pick number whatever to move up or even down. Because just because you move down in the draft doesn't mean you're getting like the worst player, so that's really exciting stuff. So if the Phoenix Suns, if this rumor is true that the Phoenix Suns are trying to buy their way into the second round, I'm all for that, you guys. I know that we are a championship contender, and I know that, we don't need rookies and we don't need project players and everything. But I I don't know. I just I'd be okay with it. Yes, it's a second round pick. I'm sure it can work with the salary. I'm sure that James Jones and our new assistant GM, Morgan Cato, will be able to figure it out financially. And who knows? Players, even rookies, especially the past 10 something years, even this past year, like with Evan Mobley, for example, rookies prove, and Cade Cunningham and all these other great players, they prove that they can help right away. Now, I'm not saying draft this second round pick and start him and give him a whole bunch of minutes, but develop them, let them get out there and I don't know. I just, I'm reading your guys' comments. You guys are funny. Um, so and again, that's kind of where all this talk, and I know that this isn't really scripted or anything. This is just me just talking. This all this talk really makes me, how do I say this? It really kind of makes the 2020 draft for the Suns look worse because everything going on, with Jalen Smith and it's not even just Tyrese Halliburton, you guys. There's just so many great players we could have had instead of Jalen Smith. And I don't even know if I want to blame Jalen Smith for that. I don't know. I just think that draft was, I think James, that's the thing. As much as I praise James Jones and he has done a pretty solid job with this Phoenix Suns team. I mean, obviously going 8-0 in the bubble and then going to the finals the next year and then winning 64 games previously. Um, that was kind of one of his biggest mistakes was Jalen Smith. And it's not even that. Like, could you imagine maybe just flipping that 10th pick for somebody, getting more assets, or maybe getting future draft picks? I don't know. And speaking of that, I don't want to sound like I'm panicking or anything. I don't want to sound like paranoid because obviously I trust James Jones until he stops giving me reasons to trust him. And I believe in the Phoenix Suns and I love the Phoenix Suns. But I wonder if maybe we should start trading for future picks. I'm just saying, because we don't know what this team's going to look like in 2 short years from now. In the year 2024, 2025. Who knows where Chris Paul's going to be then? Who knows if he's even going to be still playing? Who knows if we'll still have DeAndre Ayton? You can't predict the future as much as I can. So I'm just saying maybe we should start gathering up some draft picks or investing in some kind of players to help the team down the road. Just saying. I mean, I'm pretty confident in saying Devin Booker's not going anywhere unless things just start crumbling and falling piece by piece. And then he's like, yeah, I'm out. Which, by the way, I think he's eligible for a $210 million extension, if I remember correctly. So just wanted to throw that out there. Let's talk about the next rumor. And I don't really have too much thoughts on this. Maybe I need to watch more Rockets games and watch more Eric Gordon footage here. Brian Windhorst of ESPN says that the Sixers and Suns are showing interest in trading for Eric Gordon. And even like last year, I didn't have too much stock into this. And it's not that Eric Gordon's a bad player. It's not that I don't believe in him. I'm sure he's a great guy and everything. And I'm sure maybe if he was on this team, I'd be changing my tune saying Eric Gordon's perfect for this team and he's going to do this and that and everything. I just don't really, I don't know. I'm not too high on that. And, my guy Romp 2.0, shout out to him. He has a Sixers channel, Sixers Talk with Romp. And, my guy Philly Take with RB. I'm not even too sure they're too high on it. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. They make videos and live streams too. Maybe I have to go watch more of their stuff. But I just don't really see a scenario where that would really help us too much. Maybe I'm wrong. And especially with Eric Gordon's contract and maybe the asking price, I don't see it. So many rumors are flying, you guys, right now, and it's just I don't even know where to begin. So let's talk about the second round pick stuff. Again, according to Gambo from Arizona Sports, Suns are trying to buy a second round pick. Now, these are just a few teams that were mentioned, and I'm going to talk about this stuff later. Because again, we're going to dive into some draft stuff. Let me take a sip of my water real quick. The Magic have second round picks 32 and 35. The Thunder have one at 34. By the way, the Thunder originally had our 30th pick. That was, because of the Chris Paul trade and everything. And then we traded the 60th pick to the Pacers, which kind of low key wish we would have kept that. Timberwolves have 40 and 48. The Warriors have 51. I'll talk about the Warriors later. In short, the Warriors don't need all their picks, which is why they're probably going to be championship contenders for the next 5 years, because as long as Steph Curry's healthy and on that team and they keep that core together and they keep developing their younger guys, they don't need any more picks. They could package them and get another solid player in there. But anyways, that's my Warriors rant. And those are apparently teams who are open to moving a second. And honestly, I feel like I said this earlier, and I'm going to say it again. I really feel like all the teams are going to be taking calls and making calls, and I really feel like we're going to see a super active, busy draft. And if not, I feel like we'll hear about it. Like, this team offered that and that and this package for this player, and this team tried to move up to number 2. And by the way, I feel like the draft starts at pick 4 because the Sacramento Kings, I don't know what they're doing, but they don't. I don't know. Their whole situation is crazy, but they're at pick 4. They could do so much with that pick. And just so many other teams are willing to trade their picks. I think I saw something on the Wizards. Obviously, this report about the Pelicans, because the Pelicans don't really need their pick. I've heard a lot of things about the Atlanta Hawks. If I have heard my sources correctly, and people that I follow and listen, I think they said on the Atlanta Hawks that basically everybody but Trae Young is available. And I'm not even joking. I think that has been reported. So hypothetically speaking, if DeAndre Ayton does get signed in trade and he does want to play with the Atlanta Hawks, I think that's where we'll see a few packages come in. But again, you guys keep that in mind, that DeAndre Ayton has to want to play for whatever team he gets traded to. It's not a trade and sign, it's a sign and trade. Remember that. So even though we love to come up with theories and trade ideas, and even though the Suns do have the leverage, DeAndre Ayton has the leverage too, a little bit. And I don't really know how I feel about running it back. And maybe I'm still heartbroken from the pathetic way the Suns went out. Maybe that's why I'm like, I don't really know if I want to run it back. At least with DeAndre Ayton anyways. Or with our bench. Because I thought a 64-win Suns team was good enough. So I don't know. And again, it's not the fact that they lost. I've told my family members this. I've told friends this. I've told strangers this that I've talked to about the Suns. Because I'm walking around and they're like, you're a Suns fan? You're insane. But people thought that before the Suns got good anyways. They thought I was crazy for wearing Suns gear. But I basically said it's not how they lost, or it's not that they lost, it's how they lost. Game 6 and 7 were just a legit nightmare. And I've seen I've seen my comment section, and I've seen Suns Twitter, and I'm even seeing people in the chat saying, we need a better backup point guard, which I do agree with. By the way, I wish I would have uploaded the screenshot to this. My guy Flex from Jersey, he said this a while ago. He said the contracts of Campaign and Landry Shamet are something to look out for on draft day. And he also said that doesn't really involve the DeAndre Ayton thing. Now, maybe that's just something that he heard. That doesn't mean that Campaign and Landry Shamet are getting traded on draft day. He's just saying. And he's right. Because even though Campaign was unplayable during the playoffs, and even though Landry Shamet isn't performing to the contract money that he's earning, Campaign's on a good contract, in my opinion. And a lot of teams could look at that contract and, like, look, I hate to pick on the Boston Celtics here because they obviously had an incredible season. And I'm actually glad they went to the finals. I'm glad, I'm happy for Ime Udoka, their head coach, and they have a bright future and everything. But they need a point guard. I'm not saying Campaign's going to the Boston Celtics. I'm just saying they need a point guard. Lots of teams need a point guard. So maybe Campaign could get traded. Just saying. Landry Shamet, again, got paid a lot more than I would have paid him for. But he's a good shooter. And you know what? He didn't put up the numbers in the playoffs, but I thought he provided good minutes for the most part. Just saying. I'm not like the biggest Landry Shamet hater out there. But at the same time, I probably would be willing to move on from him. Who knows? But if you guys want to dive even further, like I made a whole video about this. I don't know what we're going to do with Bismack Biyombo and JaVale McGee, who are, let's pull up the salaries. I think they're on 1-year deals. Well, they are on 1-year deals. So let's see here. JaVale McGee, $6 million. Team option, non-guaranteed. Bismack Biyombo, $1 million, and I think he's an unrestricted free agent, if I got that correctly. And I love those guys, man. Like, I don't know what it is. I really thought that they both had great seasons. Now, don't get me wrong. There were times where they both got played off the court and they both struggled, and, but I'm looking at something here. Oh, breaking news, guys. Not Suns related. Calm down. Mike Scotto from ESPN. Let me pull this up. Talking about Bradley Beal here. By the way, let me know if you guys would like Bradley Beal on the Phoenix Suns. Mike Scotto, who says Wizards star Bradley Beal will decline his $36.4 million player option for the 2022-23 season and become an unrestricted free agent this summer. Hoops Hype has learned. I'm not even joking. It's right there. You see it? And I consider Michael Scotto to be a trusted source. He works for Hoops Hype. That's crazy. Let me see if I can pull up that twink and I'll put it in the chat. So let me know what you guys think of a potential. I don't think the Suns are going to sign Bradley Beal, but let me know what you guys want to see Bradley Beal. Let me see if I can do this actually. There we go. But yeah, that's crazy about Bradley Beal. I just put the link in the tweet. If you guys are the tweet I don't know what I'm talking about. It's been a long day, guys. So yeah. I'm trying to think of any other Suns rumors. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, guys. We're 30 minutes in. If you guys have a question, whether it's draft related, let me know. Whether it's Suns related, let me know. I do want to talk to you guys about some draft stuff, which may involve the Suns. And again, maybe I'll get a really good question here, and we can go on. I can go on a tangent about that. But in short, I don't believe the Cam Johnson rumors too much. I believe that multiple teams are on the phones trying to get into the top 10, trying to make trades and trade down, trade up. I do believe that Cam Johnson is a part of this future, a part of our future. I don't think we should give up on him so quickly. I really like JaVale McGee and Bismack Biyombo. And one thing I haven't been talking about with DeAndre Ayton that I probably should have is, let's say we do work it out with him and he re-signs here. I'm just saying, could always trade him in the future. Just saying. So that's kind of it. I hope that kind of answers your guys' questions about my thoughts on all of this. And again, I'm not too high on the Eric Gordon thing. Maybe I'll be changing my tune if he ever did come to the Suns. Bradley Beal's a fantastic player, but I just don't know. I would have to really dive into the numbers, and I'm not sure how that would work on the Suns, but you never know. Maybe a sign and trade. Maybe DeAndre Ayton wants to play for the Wizards. I don't know. Wizards have some potential pieces over there. They got a lot of wings and a lot of guys over there. So I don't know. That's kind of my quick thoughts. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys about some draft stuff. So please stay tuned because there's lots to talk about here, in my opinion. So earlier, it was reported that the Suns are trying to buy a second round pick. Now, I'm not going to read you the entire list, but I went on, I was kind of bored recently, and I wrote a whole list of teams that have multiple picks. So it's kind of awesome that this report came out about the Suns wanting picks. I think I even saw a report that the Rockets want multiple picks. In fact, let me pull something up real quick before we dive into this list. But basically, I'm going to read you guys a list of teams that have multiple picks and what I think they could do with them. Oh, yeah. Before we talk about this, the whole Detroit Pistons thing and Jeremy Grant. By the way, the Pistons are, I think, maybe the only team that actually has the salary cap to, quote, threaten the Suns and sign DeAndre Ayton. So just throwing that out there. And I like Jeremy Grant. In my opinion, Jeremy Grant's a borderline all-star, very solid player. But unless they, in my opinion, they would have to throw in Sadiq Bey and a few other young guys, maybe a few future draft picks. I don't think we're going to get the value or even the defense that DeAndre Ayton offers, unless it's an incredible offer, unless it's a Kevin Durant, just throwing that name out there, unless it's a Kevin Durant type offer. All right, let's stay on topic here. Let's talk some NBA draft. I'm really excited about this. I love the NBA draft. What was I gonna say? I love the NBA draft because it's kind of like a holiday for me. For me, it celebrates the game, kind of like NBA All-Star Weekend does. I love this stuff. By the way, if you guys want to know, last couple of years I've done a quote draft party where I've had people on and we talked about the draft and reacted to everything. This year, I'm going to go live or make a video that night, but I don't think I'm really going to do a draft party, just saying. But I'll be doing videos that day and then afterwards. So, and obviously it depends on what we do, because who knows what we're going to do. I think the only people that know is James Jones and Morgan Cato in our front office and everything. So, yeah, so Coda Kid also makes a good point here before we dive into this draft stuff. Teams in the tax, you can throw them out the window with the sign and trade. And that reminds me, guys, we've been linked to the Blazers and the Pacers and all these other teams. And I'm like, dude, this is why I don't understand the salary cap stuff, because so many teams are over the tax and teams just have so many salaries. And I'm just like, oh my God. Anyways, all right. Teams with multiple picks. Let me pull up the banner. Here we go. I meant to pull up the rumors banner, but here it is. Teams with multiple picks. Getting juicy. The Oklahoma City Thunder currently own the second pick, and they're probably going to draft Chet Holmgren or Jabari Smith, whoever's available. Like I said, the draft starts at pick 4 because the Rockets are confident that no matter who's on the board at 3, they're going to grab him no matter what. You get whoever's there if you're the Rockets. I think I feel like maybe Jabari Smith is falling a little bit. Not falling, but I think for a while he was number 1. Now it could be Chet. Either way, top 3 is pretty much locked up. So the Thunder own 2. They also own 12. 10 picks later, they get another pick. And then they had 30, but assuming that that Nuggets trade that happened goes through, they only have picks 34, which in Gambo's tweet or whatever, he mentioned the Thunder having the 34th pick, which, by the way, last time I think we had the 34th pick, it was Tyler Ulis, if I remember correctly. Might have been pick 31. So just saying. Oh, Tyler Eulis. I miss Tyler Eulis, man. We drafted him. I remember I was at the game. He like hit this like summer league buzzer beater. I think he had like an awesome buzzer beater during the regular season. Was a pretty good defender. I know he had a pretty good college career, if I remember correctly. And then we let him go and he fell off the face of the earth. Serious. He like fell off the face of the earth. Anybody heard from Tyler Eulis lately? Tyler, if you're watching, you want to come on my show and do an interview with me? Anyways. All right. Next up. And I like this team. I kind of have a soft spot for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Shout out to Let's Talk Timberwolves on Twitter. Nice guy. I've engaged with him a lot on Timberwolves Talk. They have picks 19, 40, 48, and 50. They don't need 3 second-round picks, in my opinion. And they might have another pick before 19, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, though. They had a good season, too. I'm glad they made the playoffs. Pelicans, as we mentioned earlier, they have pick number 8, in my opinion. The Pelicans can go 2 routes. The Pelicans can go, let's keep on adding to this amazing talent that we already have. Let's keep developing these young guys, and let's bring in another like wing player, because in today's league, you can never have enough wings. So they could say, yeah, let's get somebody solid at number 8. Or they could say, you know what? We're good. We like what we're doing. Zion's coming back healthy, hopefully. We're good, man. We almost beat the Phoenix Suns in 6 games. Let's see. Let's dangle. Let's do what the Portland Trailblazers are doing and literally dangle pick 8. You know what I mean? So I'm reading you guys' comments. You guys are funny. I'll talk about a comment later, but my brain is just fried right now, you guys. I'm just can I just take a minute here? Let me just take a sip of my water. All right. You guys are funny. Pelicans, they could dangle pick 8. They also have picks 41 and 52. Now, some of these teams might be bringing in guys and actually drafting them to, and I mean this respectfully, to literally send them to the G League and develop them. I love that. That's what the G League is for. It is a developmental league. Some of the best players in the NBA started from the G League. So I'm all for that. So even though we as NBA fans like, trades and rumors and, oh my gosh, this team just traded this and this team just traded that. Teams sometimes don't think that way. They think, you know what? We need as much help as we can possibly get, even if it takes 3 to 4 years to develop them. So even though I would like some of these teams, which I'm going to talk about later, to trade, excuse me. Whoa. Even though I would like some of these teams to make trades and get packages and everything, some teams don't think like that. The Houston Rockets obviously have pick 3. We talked about that earlier. Then they have 17. That's not too far. Now, if I read the report correctly, I think the Rockets said that they want 3 first-round picks. Let me see where I found that at. I don't know where it was. But yeah, it was like the Rockets want 3 first-round picks. Yeah, here we go. Rockets GM, Raphael Stone, if I said that correctly, said they plan to be very aggressive on draft night. Houston owns 3 first-round picks. Quote, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to call everybody 5,000 times, end quote. See, I told you guys, teams are going to be, they are on the phones right now. I honestly believe it is 9:36 p.m. where I'm at. I believe teams are going to be on the phone till midnight tonight, maybe even further than that. They're going to be on the phones early in the morning. And then on draft day is insane. They're going to be on the phones until the clock starts ticking for that team, which, by the way, it's a 5-minute period. When the draft starts, teams have 5 minutes to make their pick. And some teams might be on the phone until that final minute. So, And even though I don't like how Woj and Shams tweet out the picks during the draft, I feel like that kind of that for me anyways, that ruins kind of the draft excitement. I kind of hope the NBA one day steps in and says, "Hey, don't do that." Um, I really do believe that teams are going to be just insanely on the phones. Um, yeah, Sawbucks makes a good point here. He says, great point about the G League. Too bad the Suns sold their G League team. I wish we didn't sell our G League team. That like hurt me, man. The Northern Arizona Suns, man. Because we could have sent Jalen Smith there. We could. You guys remember Tyshawn Alexander? We could have, let's say we still had our G League team and we did buy a second round pick this year. We could have sent that pick there, man. It's all business. It's all money. These greedy bastards. Excuse my language. Coda Kid says they're all tampering right now. Not really with the draft, because you can make calls about the draft. These are just draft players. It's not like you're like signing these guys to a 5-year deal. But if it's a player involved, yeah, I get tampering is so like, which Adam Silver might need to fix, by the way. Stingy Nina, I hope I said that right, says, hi, it's my birthday. And I was wondering if you could say happy birthday would make my day. Well, happy birthday to you. I hope that you have a blessed birthday. I hope you got everything you wanted and more. And if it was your birthday last week or whatever, you guys, or if it was last month, mine was last month, happy birthday to you all. And if you're watching this in the future, happy birthday. God bless you guys. Anyways. Okay. JV, you're a legend, bro. You said, I'm an NBA GM and I put down the phone to tune into the stream. That comment is great. I love that. That's a great comment right there. Yes, I'll try to catch up on the chat later. And again, if you guys got any questions, whether it's draft related, whether it's Suns related, let me know. Ask me a question. I'll do my best to answer it. I'm kind of just skimming through the chat. I've been reading it. Yeah, I don't know. Just ask me a question if you guys got it. And we will continue here. Okay. Here's what I really want to talk about in terms of teams with multiple picks. The Charlotte Hornets. They have 15, or excuse me, they have 13 and 15. The Cavs are sandwiched in there. In my opinion, they don't need those two picks. They also have 45. They don't need one of those two picks. They could bring in two very solid players. And then there's been all these rumors with like Miles Bridges and everything. And I think they're reluctant. They don't want to bring him back. Or not that. They're hesitant to bring him back. Excuse me. I'm just saying. I don't see them bringing in two guys. I don't see that. Maybe one in the first round, and then maybe they could do something with that 45th pick. But I think the Charlotte Hornets will be active. There's a lot of teams I feel like are going to be active. And for some reason, like Mason Plumlee's a serviceable center, but they need a big man. So they might get like, if Mark Williams is there, they'll probably get Mark Williams or somebody great like that. But I think they could take the 13th or 15th pick, or maybe even both, and package it and get somebody good. They also have a few other guys there that I don't really know if it fits their timeline. And they have some decent players down there, like James Bouknight, Kai Jones, and a few other guys. They got lots of nice young pieces, LaMelo Ball and all that, but they need a big man. Sure, you could draft one, but I feel like they might package that. The Spurs have picks 9 and 20. Then they have 25. Then they have 38. I could see them packaging that. By the way, the only like Spurs Suns connection with this whole DeAndre Ayton thing, and I guess it's more of like a theory or trade proposal, would be Jakob Poeltl, Devin Vassell, and then maybe one of their picks. My whole thing from the Spurs point of view is I don't know if Greg Popovich would want DeAndre Ayton just because of his work ethic. Because DeAndre Ayton would have to really work his tail off to play for Greg Popovich. And I don't know if Greg Popovich at his age would want to deal with that. So just saying. But anything's possible. You never know. Maybe DeAndre Ayton will play with the Spurs at the start of the season. I don't know. All right, so I'm just going to read off some other teams here. Grizzlies have multiple picks. Kings have multiple picks. And really the biggest thing with the Kings is pick number 4. They hold a lot of leverage with that pick. They can make teams kind of fight over that pick, really. They could say, hey, this pick's available. Send us your best offers. We'll talk to you later. Click. Let them duke it out. Call them back. Yeah, we want pick 4. Here's what we're offering. Plus, they also have 37 and 49. The Magic own, obviously, pick 1, 32 and 35. Maybe they could pack it. I feel like the Magic need everybody. The Magic are such a weird team. They have so many guards, and they have so many young players. But I actually feel like they might be really good one day, and I'm not even joking. Now, they need as much help as they possibly can get. And if they get Jabari Smith or Chet Holmgren or even Pablo, how you say his name? Pablo Banchero, however you say his name, they're going to be solid. And I feel like they're going to be a really good team one day. But so maybe they'll take all 3 picks. Maybe they'll get somebody solid at 32. And then a few picks later, somebody solid at 35. Think about how many great players are coming out of the second round nowadays. So that's where I feel like teams do want to keep these second round picks. I already talked about the Warriors. If you guys missed that part earlier, they own picks 28, 51, and 55. And if you guys didn't hear, they won the NBA championship, and they're really damn good. And even if Steph Curry starts to age and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, I don't know what's going to happen with them. They still have lots of young guys on that team that can make them contenders for years. Again, as long as Steph Curry's on that team, for the most part, they're contenders as long as he's healthy. And by the way, their general manager, Bob Myers, is just a genius, in my opinion. So they're not going anywhere, and they have 3 picks that they could package, which is insane. The Blazers, I wasn't kidding about them dangling the 7th pick. They are literally dangling the 7th pick, and they're saying we are not trading Damian Lillard, which sucks. And they want to build around him. They want to keep him. And they also have picks 36 and 59. Honorable mention time with teams with multiple picks. Cavaliers have 14, 39, 56. Pacers have picks 6, 31, and 60. And then the Wizards, Nuggets, Knicks, and the Pistons have multiple picks. That was a lot. So it's going to be an insane draft, you guys. Keep your eyes on these teams that I talked about. And I'm serious. Like, stay by your phone, check, keep refreshing, your pages and everything. And I really feel like we're going to see a very active draft, you guys. There's a lot of good players in this draft. My guy Josh, who I used to work with, what's up, Josh? He said the draft is deep, and he's absolutely right. Now, look, I'm not a draft expert at all. I am not a draft expert, but I'm just going to read you guys some names here with guys that I've done a little research on. Keon Ellis, Jalen Williams, who the Phoenix Suns worked out. I really liked what I saw from Jalen Williams. I talked about him in a video. Jaden Ivey's getting a lot of talk. He might go top 5, Jaden Ivey. Obviously Jabari Smith, Chet Holmgren, Pablo Banchero. Everything's been said about them, good and bad. Dyson Daniels. I like Dyson Daniels, guys. Comes from the G League Ignite. I feel like he's rising up draft boards. Lots of potential there. I like his size. He's got a lot of great stuff. Somebody who I feel like is not really getting enough talk, in my opinion, and I hope I'm saying this name right, Yusam Gang from the NBL, New Zealand and everything. Uh, Great size, great athlete, has just a lot of basketball IQ, can do a lot of things well. Might be a project player, but I'm kind of fond of those like overseas project players. Has a lot of potential. I could see somebody swinging, a pick on him and taking a chance. Mark Williams is just a dominant force. 7-footer, 7'7" wingspan, one of the best, if not the best college defender last year. Could keep developing. Could be great. I've heard great things about Tari Eason, who I think the Suns might have worked out. I could be wrong. Margin Beauchamp, I've heard great things about him. For you college basketball fans who are fans of Arizona, Christian Coloco, I really like Christian Coloco. He'd be awesome. I was talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves earlier. They have interest in Walker Kessler. I've heard pretty good things about him. EJ Liddell, my guy Romp 2.0 loves Wendell Moore from Duke. Andrew Nemhard, I guess, had a really good draft combine. Isaiah Brockington, that's a really solid player right there. I did some homework on him. Lester Quiones, that guy can shoot. And I could keep going all day, you guys. The draft is solid. The draft is solid. There is a lot of really good players in this draft. So that's basically it, you guys. I'm just gonna read some comments and then we'll close it out. If you guys got a question, let me know. I need some water. Thank you to everybody that's in here too. We've had like over 60 people. I think at one point we had like 70. I appreciate you guys. I hope that I gave you the the conversation that you guys wanted. I didn't really have like a hot take or anything. I didn't really have like too much of an opinion. Just like I said, like with the whole Cam Johnson stuff, I just found it fishy. I just found it strange. Didn't really buy into it too much. And the DeAndre Ayton thing, I'm just all over. I have no clue what's going to happen with DeAndre Ayton. I don't give him that much of a chance to come back, but he could. Trust James Jones, you guys. I know that the Suns embarrassingly went out in the playoffs, but just trust James Jones. Until James Jones gives us a reason to not trust him, just believe in him, believe in the Phoenix Suns, believe that they are going to make the right moves to get us back to the finals, to not let what happened this year happen again. And guys, I'm sorry to keep picking on the Phoenix Suns here, but whether you want to hear it or not, we're going to be talking about the Suns losing to the Mavericks for the next 10 years. I'm serious, because the way that they went out was just embarrassing. I have watched countless basketball games throughout my life. I have studied the history of the league. And I don't think I've ever seen anything like what happened to the Suns happen before. And I know that there's been some really great teams that have won throughout the regular season and have had an early exit. I think that happened to the Mavericks, ironically, but not the way, the Suns went out. That's my rant on that. JV says, Suns Geek, I have a question. How was your day today? Well, thanks for asking, man. I hope your day was well. My day was pretty well. Woke up and I went to work for a few hours and sorry, I'm just reading some tweets here. It was a pretty good day, kind of hectic. If you guys know what I do for besides this YouTube stuff, I do work in childcare, and childcare can be a little crazy sometimes. But it was good. I ate some really good dinner. And now I'm talking to you guys, and hopefully I didn't say anything too crazy tonight. But yeah. Let's see. John says, I mean, if D-Book is our supermax, isn't all of our chips on him to depend if we get to the finals or not? I hate to pick on Devin Booker here because I truly believe that Devin Booker is some people already have him as the greatest Phoenix Sun of all time. And that's fair. That's a fair statement. I mean, by the time he's like 32, he'll have like all the records. But I wonder if Devin Booker needs to step it up a notch. And I know, he's 20 something years old and he's barely entering his prime, or he is in his prime or whatever. I'm just saying, does Devin Booker need to take it up another level to really be considered like an MVP candidate? You guys get what I'm saying? Just wanted to throw that out there. And that's the thing. That's where I can see why people don't want to give up on DeAndre Ayton, because he's only 23 years old. I get that. But you can be in your prime and have a better work ethic than DeAndre Ayton has. And I'm serious. Like, there's games where he just does not show up. And I'm not saying I could do it any better, but the effort would be there. Suns Geek says, David writes, Suns Geek, if you were GM, what would your reserve bench look like? Man, I wish I had the brain power to answer this. But like I said, I would bring back JaVale McGee and Bismack Biyombo. I would try to get them as cheap as possible. I think we need some more playmaking off the bench. We need a guy that can, and maybe this is where the whole Eric Gordon thing comes in. We need a guy that can just come in, provide some offense, get the ball moving. And that's where I keep going back to this little cop out here. I'm like, I thought a 64 win team was good enough to not be talking about what the Suns should do with their bench, But I will say this. If I know basketball, like I think I know basketball, you can never go wrong with enough wing players, and you can never go wrong with some solid playmakers and backup point guards. But there are a few guys on our team I'd probably move or, let go or have them sign with their teams because, again, a 64-win team did not get it done, which is sad. So, I don't know. Let's see. Jose says, I'd like to keep Ayton, give him another chance, but the money isn't there to make it work. Exactly. I said this to my friend Romp. I said, I wonder if like DeAndre Ayton, and this isn't his fault, but I wonder if DeAndre Ayton is like the right player, but at the wrong time for the Phoenix Suns. And I mean that from like a salary cap business standpoint. Maybe this is just how the NBA gods operate. Maybe just he is the right player and maybe he's going to be a superstar, all-star one day, but maybe it's just at the wrong time. Just saying. I don't know. Davey says everyone stunk in game 7. Don't forget they all stunk in game 6 too. It's a mystery of smoke on who to give the blame to for that one. That one lost. It seems they all took the blame. They absolutely all should take the blame. And I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to keep blaming them until they go back to the finals and win a championship. Because again, we're going to be talking about that for the next 10 years. So, all right, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I think I've said my piece on all this, and that draft stuff really excited me to talk about because I like a lot of the teams that I mentioned. I'm really excited for. Some of those teams that I mentioned have really bright futures, and I think I talked about this earlier too. Like the Atlanta Hawks, like I'm serious. I think everybody but Trae Young is available for them. And they have a lot of players on team-friendly deals, and there could be a lot of movement. So, like I said, you guys, stay by your phones. Keep checking your Twitter and notifications and all that because it's going to get insane. I will be covering it all. You guys know that. I'm going to be talking about everything Phoenix Suns related. I know there's a lot of Phoenix Suns content out there, which is why I'm forever grateful for all of you guys who continue to watch me, who continue to support me. It truly means the world to me. Like I said, I would love it if you guys could subscribe. I would love it if you guys Hulk smash the like button. But at the end of the day, if you guys want to continue to support me, just keep watching. It's that simple. I love you guys though. Hulk smash that like button. Please subscribe. You guys are all awesome. Like I said, draft day, which is Thursday night, by the way. Not sure if I'm gonna be doing a draft party, probably unlikely. But if something crazy happens, I'm going live the moment it happens. Um, even if it's like, even if we get a report, oh, the Suns traded for a second round pick, cool, go live, or I'll make like a reaction video or something. Someone just asked, is Kyrie available? Trade point guard grandpa. What? Kyrie's not coming to the Phoenix Suns. That ship has sailed. You guys remember when there was rumors that the Suns were going to trade the 4th pick for Kyrie Irving? Oh boy. By the way, before I get out of here, would you guys like me to do a video like in the future about like the Suns' worst draft mistakes? Because obviously there's been a lot in the last 10 years. Just saying, would you guys like to see a video about that? Anyways, I think I'm out of here. Stay by your phones, guys, because we're just getting so much news. Because now I'm reading that the Bucks are a team that's interested in trading up to 14, and the Bucks won the championship last year. They want that 14th pick. It's going to get insane, guys. But there's also a lot of smoke screen rumors, a lot of fabricated stories, a lot of BS. And at the end of the day, just a lot of rumors. It's just rumors. So that's it. I love you guys. Hulk smash that like button. Please subscribe. And once I can find my button to click, I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys all again for the support. You guys are all amazing. And God bless. Stay safe. Go Suns. Peace.